God.
That's who we love and that's who we serve. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Top of the time zone. I'm Alan C. You're with Johnny J in the house, here on the Innervision FM universe. You're not going to want to miss today's podcast. Brought to you by Colorado Art Relief Fund, Eeny Meeny Grants, Bonefields Foundation, Chinook Foundation, Christian Brothers Moving Company, based in the great state of Texas, Englewood, Colorado, and Phoenix, Arizona. Also, Richard Damiano of the Littleton Eye Clinic. Stay with us.
Oh my God.
That's who we love, and that's who we serve.
Is running now? Yes. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul, James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul, James Brown, saying stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you very much.
There we go. What? No. Oh, there you go. The audience were what? Maybe not drinking enough Pepsi or something like that. All right. That's wild.
Today, we'll be talking about unlocking your musical journey with Casablanca Records. Do you want to be the next Casablanca Records?
Well, why not? Shoot.
Why not?
Yeah. I just got matter of fact, I bought the movie. Now this movie was only $7. And I said, that's a good price. You know, and it's like, so I went and bought the movie, and this is the second time I watched it. And of course, it's always a point when, you get teary-eyed because they went up against Motown Records. Okay, they weren't treating, let's see, which one? Okay, they didn't know if they wanted to, what to do with Isley Brothers. So, this guy said, I know what to do with them. And then Gladys Knight, she didn't feel that she was getting taken care of because Berry Gordy was taking care of his lover, Diana Ross, and he didn't see nothing else but what I can do for Diana Ross. So she said, hey, I'm looking for a new deal. And so Casablanca was there for that. And then, let's see, what was it? Oh, Bill Withers. They were dragging on Bill Withers. They wanted to say, lean on me when you're not home, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry your. You might have. It's one of those songs that they played it over and over. If you listen to Top 40 radio, and I listen, and then he sung the song. Let's see, when she's gone too long. Don't. And every time that she's gone, and she's gone too long, anytime she goes away. Okay, and that was one of the ones that, and he sung a bunch of other songs, but this guy, he used to work cleaning out and installing the bathrooms on airplanes.
See, I think I remember that. He was, I was thinking, well, wasn't he a janitor? Well, I guess that's kind of
for the airline.
Janitor.
Yeah,
for the airline.
Yeah. And so they grabbed them, and then let's see who. And then of course Kiss, which man, it almost seemed like I heard the song Beth and stuff like that. And I remember I was up in the mountains, and there was a girl named Beth, and she was like a beautiful girl, and she had the album Beth, and I listened to it, and she lives in this beautiful wooded house, and I'm not even sure how I got up there. It must have been somebody who took me up there, and then I started talking to the daughter, and of course I was too shy to say, hey, can we take this further? But who knows? But and then I remember seeing Kiss in concert when they had the drum kit that went up in the air and turned from side left to right and side to side, and because I would go to all these concerts, and that was when I convinced my little brother and my sister to go to, because usually when I go to the rock concerts they wouldn't go, but this one they did go.
Kiss was the hottest band in the world, Kiss. And they had a cartoon for a while back in the 70s.
You guys remember that cartoon?
Yeah. And so, and then let's see, it was somebody, it was something. Then of course Donna Summers, and I bought the album. It's like, it's pretty much, it's this lady moaning and groaning. and as a teenager, I said, "Well, that's interesting," putting that on a record. But so I didn't realize that they had made up this whole, and then she made a Christian contemporary album, and I wish I would have kept it. Well, I did. I think I do have it. I left it at my mother's house. My brother has it now, but I bought because that's what she really wanted to do, because she grew up in a church. But she had to make some money, and so she eventually made the Christian contemporary album, and it was very good. And it's like, man, I don't know if they have back issues of that, or if I can get it now on streaming, because I would like to add that to the station. And then who was the last? Oh, George Clinton. That guy, I went to see the Mothership when it came to Colorado at McNichols Arena. And so the commercial was, they would say, come see the Parliament Funkadelic as the Mothership comes to Colorado. And so they have this video of the ship, and the steam is blowing out, and then the ship is landing. And it was the exact type of show like me. I mean, because the Funkadelics would come out first. They would do their show first. Then they would leave, and then they would change, and then they would get on the mothership, and then they had it rigged where it's on top of the stage, because I could see how this thing cost $1 million. And then it would come down. What? Wait, who's somebody there raising their hand? What do you want to say? Whoever's raising their hand.
Not seeing anybody in the
huh?
Hey there, we got Hey Joe in the house. It's just after 7:30 a.m. in the Philippines. Hey, folks, join us as we explore how you, as an artist, have the power to shape the world through your music, from the spiritual aspects and the financial aspects, to building your fan base and creating a lasting impact. We've got you covered. Where do you want to start?
Well, I got these, because I have to write these things down. These things down. And we want to discuss what the spiritual price and the financial price of getting into this business, because some of the guys, they say, hey, I just want, maybe they had a lack of love when they were growing up, and they say, hey, I just want a bunch of people yelling my name and or what a stage name or whatever, or something like that. Or some people, because sometimes it has to be like an ego thing, because sometimes I listen to these guys on radio, and if they're featuring that person and another person comes in, they get kind of like territorial. Oh, like remember that song "Take Me Home Tonight" by Eddie Money?
Eddie Money, yeah.
Okay, when Ronnie came on the Tonight Show with him, he had her sitting not next to Johnny Carson, but the seat over.
Absolutely.
Even though I think that she's a bigger star than he was, and she was there before he was.
That happens sometimes. And I think sometimes, though, people are more humble than other people. Some people are more humble than other people. So maybe that went into play a little bit. That brings us to one of our
heads
topics.
get in the way.
What?
Some people's heads get in the way. Yeah, absolutely. And that brings us to one of our topics tonight, and that deals with selling your soul. There's a big legend out there that if you sell your soul to Old Scratch or Screwface or whatever you want to call the guy, the guy with the horns, you sell your soul to Satan, you're going to go ahead and go far, because he'll make your songs play. So the idea is, will you sell your soul for your musical career?
I wish Reggie Walker was here, because he was in Atlanta, and he says he was working for a big company, and he says that when he would finish an album or finish a song, they would take it to another room and pray demonic things over the song.
Whoa.
To yeah, and he said he saw all that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
there's some weird stuff that goes on in the music industry.
Right. And so and then like let's see. It was another one. I don't want to mix these stories up. It's a Hollywood thing where they take them out to Hollywood and then they turn the boys out, because they're like kitty molesters, whatever. And then it's like sometimes, okay, like Taylor Swift, Rick, this guy named Rick who took over. Taylor Swift's mother stayed there all the way. She gave up her job, and I think the husband is still working his job, to be on the road with her daughter. Because I think when she started, she was only like 13, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of the smart ones where if you're going to get your child involved with this, stay on the road. Now, this other mother, she had a son who was a hip hop artist, and the son just said, and the record company let him use drugs, whatever, and he ended up ODing. So the mother sued the record company because she says, I left you in charge of my 16-year-old boy, not to let him do whatever and come back in a box.
Well, that's the thing, Johnny, is your authenticity is your superpower. So, what needs to be protected is who you are at your core. A lot of times fame and fortune comes with money. And so you're asked to compromise certain things within the music industry so that you can get your music recognized, heard worldwide, and get the exposure and the money and the fame and all this type of stuff. And if you compromise your authenticity, you give away that superpower.
Now, another one was when I saw this in the movie Straight Outta Compton, when Dre had got this girl pregnant. I think the girl was like 3 years at the time, and they were sleeping on his auntie's couch, right? And he's trying to make some money in the music business. And then the guy offered them $75,000. Now, maybe in 1986, $75,000 is a lot of money for a young person.
And
right?
Nowadays, 75,000, that'll probably buy you a pack of cigarettes.
Man, you'll run through that like water.
That's right.
But he was under the pressure because his baby mama said, what are you going to do? How are you going to take care of us? We're sleeping on your auntie's couch, and this is not what I thought. I believe in you, but this is not what I wanted. And then Ice Cube, even though he had a girlfriend and stuff like that, would end up to be his wife for the last umpteen years.
Gosh, yes.
They held out and said, no, we're worth more money than that.
That's interesting. Go ahead.
75,000 would be great. Boy, could I use that?
I could use 75,000 right
I could use 5,000.
Folks, money is tight. Money is definitely tight. But if you can hit us up at www.innervisionfm.com, we are listener supported as well as the sponsors that we do have. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Where we go with the money is not send Johnny or Alan or Mike, for that matter, to Hawaii Fund. Well, that's not so funny anymore.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry.
That's it.
We do matter. We do matter in the fact that we want to help grassroots musicians achieve and attain their goals, and we want to give a little shout out to Hawaii because. We don't want to leave a no comment like our president.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yesterday when I was telling about Wendy, she was saying like a good start is $150,000.
Yeah, that's a good start.
$150,000. I said, okay, that's interesting. And so she says, and she says to go out and get invested. But like I said in the part two of this part one. A lot of people are going to start out as volunteers and so forth. And then, so you have to divvy up, like when you start making money, like this person's going to get paid this person's going to pay that, like 1% of this, 1% of that, and then, you start working those because you want to let people know that eventually, when you start getting there, because you're moving towards that you have a plan, and it's just not that it's not like back in 2005 we were at this coffee house and we had these concerts upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah,
and we had this one group. They had 30 guys in the group, and the manager says, "Who's going to pay the ticket to come see you guys? Why don't you just have 2 guys on the stage and let everybody else pay the $10 because you guys you're not going to make any money."
That's absolutely right. It is important to have the right team behind you, folks that believe in your vision, folks that are willing to put in the long hours necessary to help your starship fly across the universe, so to speak.
Yeah.
We here at the Innervision FM universe really want to help you drill down on what it takes to make a good street team. Even though, we come from the old school, the tried and true methods within the music industry are still valid today, even with independent musicians. Even the independent musician has a good street team behind them, folks that believe in them and want for their success, no matter whether they get paid or whether, they get paid later. That's sometimes what'll happen is you got to volunteer for a bit, pay your dues, so to speak, and be reliable, be dependable, and
Roadie.
being a roadie, be a roadie. I mean, it's important. The equipment is not as heavy as it used to be, but man, I remember back in the day.
Oh yeah, those big
speakers, big amps. Oh man,
oh
holy
man,
smoke!
oh,
I'm a little guy. I'm a small drink of water.
I got to tell you the story. We were once doing a concert with Casey on the 6th Street Mall. I think it was a Rock Bottom. And these 2 guys had been drinking. And I said, Casey, you guys are drinking before the gig, right? So they were putting the speakers up, and Casey says, "You better tie that speaker down."
Oh yeah,
he's drinking, he's out, he's feeling good, until that speaker fell on his head. and he sobered up real quick.
That's one heck of a way to sober up, man. I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than getting knocked in the noggin with a nice heavy speaker.
Oh yeah. So it's like, okay, maybe you roadies and everything, drink afterwards when it's time to celebrate, and comfortably, like, after you broke down everything and put everything away, because man, you could lose so much equipment.
Oh man, it's easy.
Oh yeah. So now you must have a vision of the feel and hear the like his song, and get people around you that they know the market that you're in.
Yeah.
Because if you're around people that they want to listen to hip hop and you do country, it's just not going to work. Or you're into pop music and you're around like a bunch of like just older people, and it's like you want to get into the pop feel. You got to get some people that they know the lifestyle of those artists are trying to reach out to, right? And so like surrounding you, like, get some people around you that have their ears to the ground and say, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And and take some good advice from people who are living the lifestyle that the music that you want to put your music into. So, and
that's absolutely right. Crafting a business plan is also important. Oh, you were going to say something, Mike?
I started this new church, and it's a Baptist-based Christian church.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, they have some musicians there that are absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
And they want to learn my music.
Hey,
really? Hey,
I like
Joe.
that.
Speaking of
That's
music,
the best thing that I've had in years. This
That
last
is
church
awesome.
I was going to, the Pentecostal church, and they didn't want anything to do with anything on my music unless I just wanted to go up there and do it myself. And nobody wanted to listen to it even. It's like, this is just fantastic.
Hey,
Yeah.
Joe is one of our recording artists, and we feature some of your stuff from time to time How do folks get in touch with your music?
Yeah.
SoundCloud, basically. Johnny's put some on the
On the station?
Yeah,
on
it's in
station,
those-
but
yeah, it's in-
also on it's on
Spotify,
Spotify,
iTunes.
Amazon. And I have it
Yeah.
some of the stuff on BandLab, all kinds of different stuff. But I mean,
So you're
SoundCloud
pretty-
is my basic one.
Yeah, you're pretty diversified. You know, crafting a business plan is really important because you got to have a vision of where you want to go within the next 5 to 10 years. If you have a skill, and it's what's called an evergreen skill, it's going to be just as valid as it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And
Yeah.
so an evergreen skill is something that's really good to have. You craft that into your business plan and you put a vision of what you want to see happen in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, and you follow that and chart that particular milestone that you hit and just keep pushing through it because it's a process to get your stuff promoted and get out there, especially if you choose not to sell your soul to the devil.
Yeah, and also
That's one thing that has really excited me about this church, because these musicians are all, they sound professional.
Oh,
Mm.
that's awesome.
One guy has a music studio and stuff like that. It's like, this couldn't have worked out better, I don't think, because I'm going to be able to promote my music locally now.
Oh,
Well, you know, that's really cool. It's like the old Blues Brothers movie, you know, where Dan Aykroyd kept walking around going, I'm on a mission from God. You know, if you
Yeah.
actually embrace God and you want to give him all the glory, you don't have to worry about that whole selling your soul. You don't have to worry about the spiritual aspect of things. If it's God's will, it's God's bill, you know, basically. So, you know, you may not even have to have the money right off because, you know, God will put people in your path that you never, ever could have met.
and I think a lot of, go ahead, Mike.
Anytime I'm writing Christian music,
Mhm.
it's a snap.
Ain't it great?
The words are there and everything. And
Ain't it great?
I fit to the music so easy. Writing
Yeah.
other music, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks just to get lyrics down. Doing Christian music, matter of 20, 30 minutes, and the stuff is there.
Mm.
You know, I got to
Wow.
agree with that because I'm on a project right now and I try to plink with it. I've been plinking with it for weeks, man, and it deals with the reverse of the national anthem. And it's in my heart because I love the United States Constitution. I love freedom and liberty with all of my heart. But even as I see these things that are going on today, it kind of gets me a little depressed. You know, I got 47 days until I'm totally and completely homeless and just, all this stuff. And I'm thinking, holy moly, how am I going to get this project done? But I will tell you this, if I warm up with a little bit of Christian tunes and I start playing, man, it just comes to me. You're absolutely right, Mike.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now the next thing is getting that LLC because you want to make you want to make deductions. I once heard this guy. I guess he's on this. I've never seen any of these shows. I just don't follow some of these HBO shows and because it's like, you know, gangsters and this and all that. And I'm just not really in that. But anyway, I guess this guy was playing a gangster, but he's an artist and he got an LLC. And then this other guy that was on the show, he was wondering like, why are they taking so much money out of my check? And they're not taking that much money out of your check. This is because I got my LLC so I can write off deductions.
They're not going to protect you from everything, but an LLC will definitely set up an umbrella. Whereas if you don't have an LLC and something comes up, then the legalities are on you as opposed to the legalities which are afforded an LLC, which you may, as an individual, may not be able to take full advantage of. it is kind of a bummer, but that's the way the laws are set up. So why not work within the system?
And here in Colorado, if you start, like, it was this group, what's her name? I forgot her name, but anyway, she started making like, $3,000 a month because it was very, Erica Brown. She's a local artist here, and she's making, good money. Her band gets hired to do government, those high profile concerts, and they started hitting her with taxes. Before, she would just pay the band, don't worry about it, cash, whatever. But then they said, wait a minute, how much money did you make last year? And they started coming at her because she hadn't, kept the books straight for a while. And then she had to, start keeping the books because they hit her with this, it's not bad, but it's bad enough. It was a $3,000 tax bill, and so she just had to start keeping the books a little bit better and just reporting, like, she's paying the band this much and this month, and then do the write-off and stuff like that. So she's Erica Brown LLC now. So yeah. So
building your fan base is also important, from open mix to street shows. You basically have social media stuff. You got live streams. You can really, really have an easy time of engaging with your audience and building a good following.
Right.
It's really, really awesome. I mean, you've got technology out there, including artificial intelligence, that will allow for you to do a lot of things that you would have to delegate to your street team. So you've almost got a digital street team right here on your desktop.
3, 4, 7, 9, 7, 8, 1.
Oh, sorry about that. My speaker's still hooked up. Okay. Doing those open mics, you're building, and then collect those emails and phone numbers. So when you get to a level, you're going to do like a show that's for money, like at the Roxy Theater here. We have this organization called Afton, Afton, and they'll put you in there, and they'll pay through your ticket sales for the DJ, for the venue, and all you have to do is come in and plug in. And depending on how many tickets you sell, you get a better payout when you sell, like, 25 or more. And it's good, and they insist that you have to pay get those 10, 20 tickets sold. And some people, they don't like that. They're like, well, you're paying the pay, but if they're providing the DJ, they're providing the location, I don't really think that's a bad trade-off. If they're providing all that, and all you just have to do is plug in your mic and
that's
great sound, and I'm not sure how that's so much pay to play, because you're getting all this unless you want to do it yourself, and then you find out how much it does cost.
Yeah, that's a really important thing. Also, a bio is something you want to put together. That's something that is necessary, because I was talking a little bit earlier about these evergreen skills. Something that is a tried and true method is always getting your bio out there. It helps with fostering sponsorships, down the road and stuff like this. If people know who you are, have a little bit of a knowledge of where you come from, how you operate, and this kind of thing, and they could just go down the list and go, wow, I want to work with this person. They're going to sponsor your artistry. They're going to sponsor your vision, and they're going to jump right in there with you and be part of your street team.
Yeah. And also remember, when you buy, sometimes write about something other than the music or what inspires you, that got you to write these songs and so forth, because your audience is looking for a way they can connect with you. So if you're like into, baseball, if you're into, hockey or something like that, and maybe there's somebody out there that they like hockey and baseball too. So you'll gather up that niche of fans that say, hey, I can relate to that, because, if I talk about this hockey team or that, this football team, they're into that. So kind of like in that one page, try to give like a little sprinkling of who you are and things that you like to do outside of the music as well.
Here's something that I'm totally inexperienced at. I have no idea how this works. So you'll have to help me out. Hey, Johnny has started a school for podcasters, broadcasters, aspiring musicians, recording artists, hit us up at innervisionfm.com if you want to learn more information about that. But here's this one, and it's video, sharing your story through video. How in the world does a blind person do that? Well, you know what? I want to learn how to do that. And by golly, that would be fun.
And we got Ira, that helps a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because they had this new app. They said that you can use this app to they can maneuver your phone. Yeah. And I haven't tried that yet. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. So
also with artificial intelligence, you can create a story per se. Let's say you're writing a story about yourself and who you are, a little bit about, you can actually have that thing apparently create video that matches what you're writing about. It's a text to video kind of program. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to get more into that. I see they're offering me, to try it out for free, but I just haven't had the time yet because I was supposed to get to the grant, but I plugged in my speaker and I just started blasting music. My wife is out of town, so I get the rock more louder.
Well, it's a good thing we're not young anymore, Johnny, because back in the day, man, when my wife left, oh boy, there was dancing girls and six packs all day long, boy.
Oh man. But now she might accuse us like, well, how many women you had over? I said, hey, if I didn't have more when you were here, I'm not gonna have more when you left.
That's absolutely that goes right back to selling your soul for the music industry. You don't want to be doing none of that. You got to be spiritually clean minded anyway.
Oh yeah. And so
Ruh-roh.
I know. So I'll start building the video and I was just listening to a show today that this girl, she's a daughter of this preacher lady, and she said 3 years ago she had an abortion because she had 4 kids already, and she said everybody fitted in the van just perfect, and she said a 5th person wouldn't fit, so she decided that she's in control, and so she aborted the 5th child.
Wow.
And she says it was all about, she wanted control. And I always wonder, like, why it's like my body, my choice. And I'm thinking, like, what is this about that? And she
the choice to get pregnant.
Yeah, the choice to get pregnant. And if you didn't want to have that 5th one, if God didn't plan for that 5th one to come, why do you want to destroy that life? So it was just interesting listening to her saying, this is a mistake I made. And when she thinks back about it, she said, maybe that wasn't the best choice. She said it wasn't the best choice because she was all into like control, and she wanted her family size to only be 4. And, maybe she should have got her tubes tied.
That's why faith and respect is super important. I mean, have faith in yourself that, you do have the potential, but it is important for folks like us to have faith in our Lord Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And in that way, at the end of it all, no matter the financial outcome, whether you make $1 million, billion, $1 trillion, or whether you make 1 cent, as long as you're true to what you're doing for the Lord and seeking his kingdom first, when you get up there at the end of it all, the idea being, well done, my good and faithful servant. You ran the race. I mean, It was hard. It was arduous. You made some mistakes. You fell down, got your elbows skinned up, your knees skinned up, but you got back up and you kept on trying. That's the main thing, is believe in your vision. Believe that the Lord Jesus Christ put this into your heart as a calling. I mean, if music is truly your passion, or video is truly your passion, or whatever your passion might be, maybe it's not music or video at all. Maybe it's just driving a cab all day long and meeting a bunch of people. I don't know. Find out what that.
Tell your story.
Huh?
Absolutely, Mike.
Oh yeah. So and then always treat people the way you want to be treated. We have some incidents where we had this one guy that he keeps stealing people's music or videos and then selling it and make money. And I understand, okay, you need money, whatever, but at least ask the person and share whatever ask the person, because you may be the greatest seller of all. and if you break off a piece for them,
Yeah.
You're not only helping that person, but you're helping yourself, and not be so greedy, because there's enough money to go around.
Even when there's not enough money to go around, there's a higher purpose, and that purpose being seek God's kingdom first. At least for folks like us that believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and believe in what He did for us. I mean, how in the world would you want to mess somebody over simply so you could get a little bit of scratch? Because at the end of it all, when we take our first step into eternity, do we want to hear? Go ahead, Mike.
You don't take anything with you.
Yeah, you can't take it with you. You can't. So do you want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant? Or do you want to hear, depart from me, I never knew you? Because you can sit here and do all these works, all these things, and say to our maker at the end of it all, well, look, I did all these things, but if you didn't do them for him, you didn't make it all about his story. History is his story, basically. If you didn't make your history his story, then, at the end of it all, it was all about you, and he'll know, because he's running your movie, your life, your stuff before your eyes. And at the end of it all, wow, I get all choked up when I think about it, because it's awesome. I mean, it's more awesome to live for somebody else's vision than it is to live for your own at times. I mean, believe in yourself, do those things, have the vision mapped out, have your street team, all these things that we talked about. But at the end of it all, if you're not doing it ultimately to put others first, what's the point? What's the point? You can have it all, but if you lose your soul at the end of it all, well, what's the point?
And if you get a chance to watch that movie, Jesus Revelation. No,
Jesus Revolution.
Revolution. There's
Right.
Revelation and Revolution. Yeah. And really good movie. I bought it, and I watched it. I'm gonna watch it again. And then the movie I just watched, I guess it was called Spinning Gold, about the Casablanca story. And it was interesting, man. It's like and try not to get any money from long sharks. Because this guy, he was in debt $6 million, and they said, we want our money back, and they beat him with a bat, because they didn't want to kill him. They just want to, say, hey, we're serious about this. And, I don't know about you. I don't want to take one for the team. So
that's right. Writing checks with with the things, making it to where you write these checks and your body can't cash them. It's unprofitable.
Yeah, man. So it was a great movie. So, hey, leave your comments below there, and let us know what you think. Hey, what can I say? It's all good. And
hey, check this out. Tomorrow we have a game developer on, and he'll be talking about how he made certain games for the blind community. So you're not going to want to miss that. Anybody remember the old text adventure games? You're in a building and where do you want to go, or what do you want to do? You've got these passages, north, south, east, west, up, down. It's kind of like that. And it started out as a college project in 1995, I think it was. And it grew into this thing called a MUD, which is a multi-user dimension kind of thing. So people were playing these things online before the graphics really took off in the video aspect of things, before Xboxes and before these new video game systems really started taking over. And so we'll hear from him and how Alter Eon came into play.
All right. So, it's been a fantastic show. We'll probably see you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And who knows, we'll have a fancy. Oh yeah, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.